All right. Get these alerts off as I finish tying my sneaker. Yes, I'm multitasking. Good morning, everyone. It is Wealth Wellness Wednesday. Can you believe it? We're already in the middle of the week. So much happening, so much going on. We had a little triumphing over yesterday, Triumph Tuesday, so we'll chat about that. But good morning, everyone. This is Carol Sue, aka Anonymous, all tied up with my sneakers with two
Sisters. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. Excuse me, on this Wellness Wednesday, March 8th. And beware, the Ides of March is coming up in the believe it's next Wednesday or Thursday. But I'll have to check on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Right now, I've got what I need to triumph over because I'm still kind of in Tuesday mode. Is my desk. I've got schedules everywhere, to-do list everywhere, email list everywhere. This is what's happening when you're creating passion and multitasking and got so much going on. Yeah, so excited to, really we're nearing that field of, the timeline of when we're coming up to our pickleball tournament, which is March 23rd to the 26th. And then, of course, tournament I'll be working starting tomorrow. Heading there is Mohegan Sun Winners Choice Awards, which is going to be a great cheerleading and dance 2-day extravaganza at Mohegan Sun. I believe it's close to 200 teams. So the average team, so think about that. Well, where's my calculator in my mess pile here? Because there are small teams and there are large teams, right? So if you take 200, so the average team, you could say it's like 20, because sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes it's a large team. So let's do the math here. 200, if I can get my calculator to work out right, 200 times 20.
4,000.
Which I bet 4,000. So roughly, give or take, and probably more, because there are some teams that have very large, numbers in them, about 4,000 athletes, never mind spectators. So it's going to be kooky, fun, kooky.
That sounds very exciting. And, with the, we always talk about the weather, right? Typically bundled up, you're not. And obviously that's that time of season. And so yesterday, we had, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, where it got up to around 46, 47. And that was after we had some a little bit of snow, which we didn't get anything. And then, of course, I go up north in the Charlton area, and I would say that they had close to 6 inches and, snow plowed snow. So, an hour, 15 minutes away, and, such a difference. But as I'm driving up there, going from the 46, 47, and it was really bright to it, slowly got like the doom and gloom. So I was excited to get there and, of course, see my little grandniece and grandnephew. And we had such a blast. Jed picked out a really good movie called, I think it was called Sandlots.
Ooh.
It was about baseball. Yeah, you think baseball, but just having that time with them was just super, super special.
Yeah, they had a blast. I love the pictures that you sent, and they really are such a joy. And so I think of when people are like in that kooky mode, maybe things aren't going well, maybe you're not feeling your best, get to a really good special memory to kind of help you through that time of like you're trying to like get over something, whether you're upset with the weather, the doom and gloom, what's going on in our world, maybe you've been on social media way too much and things are aggravating you there. So think of something fun, get involved with something that you wouldn't maybe even necessarily ordinarily do on the daily, and just dive into it with open heart, open mind. And that really kind of creates that ripple of the wave of getting you over that hump of that you got to triumph over something. But we are in Wellness Wednesday, and this is such a great day because it is the middle of the week. You've got like 2 days plus under your belt of the quote busy work, school, professional, life's got to go on week, and there's hope. You're through that middle piece. You got 2 more days, Are you still achieving everything you set out for the week? Have you checked your planner? Today is a good day to like double check. Am I getting all my appointments in? Did I skip something? Did I forget something? And when you are planning, like I am, the schedules and messes everywhere, you have to triple check. Where am I at? Is there something I missed? So yesterday, 8 hours plus solid, just boom, boom, boom on the computer, rechecking emails. Did I remember everyone? And because I was at the point now where I'm starting to send out drafted copies of what's going on, schedules, where people are working, descriptions of departments. So I'm doing it in 2 batches because it was easier for me to kind of double check, because there's so many lists that so many different people have been on in the past. I'm trying to cultivate them and get them all together for this current year, and that takes time. So that's going well. But are you checking where you're at with your health and wellness? Even though yesterday was crazy kooky bit, I was all over the place. I said, no, I need 30 minutes for myself. I've got to slow down, double check my list, take that breather, make sure I'm hydrating, which I'm definitely hydrating. Got to start out the day hydrating. And then, just take a little walk outside, if your weather permits. If the weather is not good where you're at, go put on some music, maybe read, do some journaling, just get your mind off of things just for a little bit, just kind of refresh, recoup, resettle into the rest of your day. And when you do things like that, it really does impact how your day goes.
Oh, it certainly does, because let's face it, one little splinter in your finger, if you will, can just really change the whole trajectory of your day. And, it just goes to show you that, sometimes you do have to press that pause button. And guess what? It's okay to do that.
Absolutely. If we don't pause, you'll be totally disrupted, and you wouldn't have paused to kind of reset your brain to now deal with whatever the next thing may be, whether it's a derailment, whether it's a curve in the road, a detour. So you just gotta be prepared. And but I love today, because this is also the day that we collaborate with people that don't know that we're going to collaborate with them. Now, how cool is that? What do you mean, naughty boss? You're going to collaborate with people. But before we get to that piece, talking about collaborating, I've heard a lot of buzz, because I've not been watching the news. I heard a lot of buzz over Tucker Carlson. And one of the things about Tucker Carlson, because I don't really watch the news, not even Fox News people, I rarely even watch that anymore. But one of the things that I love about him, besides him being like blunt, is he's got this funky, really laugh, especially when he's trying to make it a point, he's being sarcastic, and he gets this like really ridiculous laugh. So apparently he has, I think, over 1,000 hours of video, and I may be wrong with the time. I don't know the actual hours. I thought he said it was over 1,000 hours of videos of 1/6, and the outrage that certain political figures are having with him sharing what the people really want to see. They want to know exactly what happened. They want to have some backstory, maybe fill in some blanks, fill in some pieces, because we do know, and despite, the minority leader and the majority leader of their kind of giving their spin, which I'm going to get to in a second, people do have the right to know. And when you blatantly continue to lie and then actually ask a network to censor. So Schumer got out there yesterday during the day, because it was the day after, I guess, the first videos, which I never saw, were released. But I listened to that little segment because he was addressing the chamber, and he was literally speaking directly to Fox News, CEOs, and demanding that they remove them and not allow Tucker to report this information. And I go, but isn't that the same thing that the American people have been bitching about for like over 2 years now, about the censorship of news and the propaganda pieces that, a select few will will cohort with, certain news agencies to put out a story that's really not really the whole picture. It's a narrative to get to a propaganda piece. So I found that interesting that he actually was, that there's that blatant to why didn't you just come out and say, we want it censored? Because that's exactly what he was saying. He didn't use the word censor, but he was demanding that Tucker Carlson not go on the air. He was demanding that the videos not be released. And he was referring to apparently last night's episode. He talked about the day before, and then he said, he's going to air part 2. And I demand, and I'm paraphrasing people, that he doesn't show it. And I demand the CEOs to stop it. That's censorship, Chucky. That's censorship. In a
Well,
nutshell. Then the other piece that I'm going to let you interject because it's crazy. He said, and of course, in Tucker Carlson's funky laughter way, they're panicking, but the same people on either side that truly are connected. Because a lot of people say, they always, when you talk about politics, it's always the left and the right, Democrats versus Republicans. But he said they basically proved how much they really work together. Because you had Schumer, you had Mitt Romney, and there was a couple other ones that they named. So it wasn't just Schumer. It was these select few on either side, which actually proved the point that so many have been saying, that they've been working all along together. Like this whole left and right thing is a crack of baloney, which most of us with common sense knew. And the common core that that smaller group of pushing that same narrative, they all are connected to a certain country that has now been proven what we all common sense people knew of where this planted, leaked virus came from. So they all have a connection with that country monetarily.
well, here's what I've got to say about that. I got to say, and this by no means is a compliment to Schmucky Schmoomer, or whatever the heck his name is, Shifty Schumer. But I got to say, he does have a crafty way of twisting everything around. And I find it very interesting. And I don't care if you're left or right or in between. This is not what this is about. This is about do as I say and not as I do, because I am elite. And this is just the way it is, because, these are the facts as I see them. We all know that certain people cannot agree on the facts. But I find it very interesting, in order to still solidify his position, in order to still keep with that narrative, how he very nonchalant but very crafty shifts it around to still support what we already knew was not, but to support his narrative or their narrative. Their meaning whoever there is.
Right, and that there is a combo. So they all had something to gain, a lot to gain, because we frequently talk about how these politicians are really, they make an average salary, they make a good salary, but nothing extravagant, in the scheme of life. But they all come out, so much wealthier than. And the fact that, the videos are the videos. What I found interesting, the one officer that really should have been interviewed by this sham 1-6, I wouldn't even call it a committee, I would call it 1-6 con job group. The one person they should have called was the one who was actually signed of the health and wellness and well-being of Congress and senators getting them out of the building. And you see video of him on the phone, the radio, back and forth to the different chambers to make sure, because now they're in a lockdown mode and he's got to get them out. And he's calling for help. And not one person is responding. And he thought that was very, very odd. And he admitted that the Capitol Police were not prepared a lot of people on the inside knew this was coming. They were expecting obviously some demonstration. They would expect that, but the vast volumes, no, they weren't expecting that. And the fact he said, I don't understand why no one got back to me. And sadly, what happened to this officer, I mean, he was the head guy. He was the number one in charge. Somehow he ends up on the outside, but he's got to try to still get back in. And, you know, you're walking through that crowd, and obviously we know that it was a lot of pro-MAGA, you know, and I'm going to use that term, make America great again, supporters. And someone put a hat on him, and it was a red MAGA hat. And he didn't realize, you know, obviously in this crowd of people, but at the same time, he thought, it's a tool. If it's going to get me closer to the flipping door, then I got to go help people. So he just kept it on. He was fired over that because as a Capitol Police, and you're not supposed to show any kind of political bias. And he agrees with that. He says, I serve Democrats, I serve Republicans. So I don't show my bias. But in this situation, if it was going to get me to the front door quicker, why not? And he was fired over that. He lost his pension over that. And yet this one person who did absolutely nothing, all of a sudden kind of, you know, got up the ranks and now is working for one of Pelosi's, you know, whatever. But the one person that was truly responsible for all this nonsense, and President Trump had, you know, at that time had said to her, you know, you got to get extra help there. Well, you know, let us help. No. She knew what was coming. So in all these videos prove her dereliction of duty, because that's exactly what it was. No one else.
It most certainly was. And I just want to, you know, add to that. I believe in peaceful assembly, protest, that type of thing. But let's face it, there were some things that happened there that day that, you know, I don't support somebody injuring somebody to get their point across.
I agree.
So those who inflicted harm, I don't care what side you're on, to another party, that is not acceptable, and we do not support that.
And they also really showcase, which a lot of people knew as well, that those that were the agitators also utilized wearing other hats and clothing to disguise who they really were in favor of, because there was a lot of people wearing a lot of red, number 45, you know, paraphernalia, hats, t-shirts, whatever, that actually weren't, that were actually part of the whole agitation on purpose, with purpose to make things more chaotic. Shame on them. But then when you think about it, how many are still in jail, and not rightfully so, have not been charged? And even the word, the Schumer, what he said yesterday was, he implied that Tucker was going to be, and again, I'm paraphrasing, an instigator in another surge and another insurrection. Now, he used the word insurrection. I may be not exactly wording it exactly the way I said, that's why I said it's a paraphrase, but he was highly suggesting that the release of these videos was going to be like part 2 of the insurrection. It's already been proven there was no insurrection. No one's been charged with insurrection. No one's serving time for insurrection. So again, the narrative is still being twisted and certain words are being used when that's not truthful. So it was shameful of what he addressed. He was very blatant. He didn't have apparently enough balls enough to come out and say, I want Fox News and Tucker Carlson censored. He said every other word but the word censorship. So I found that really hard to believe. And, you know, when you have, you know, a select few from either side, either political party, you know, they're connected by a country. They have a very specific country in common, besides the good old USA. and use your imagination with where the virus was leaked, of what country I'm referring to. They all have that same connection. So what's the end game? What do they get out of it? We don't know. Probably never will. Besides a lot of power and money, we know that that's the root of all their evil, and they are evil people. And like I said, they will answer, in this life or the next. That evil will, at some point, probably not in our lifetime, and we may never, ever see that, but it will happen, because they're, good and evil. Good always eventually wins out. Evil may stress you out, and it may impact your daily, it may impact your life, it may impact, how you live your life, but it's not sustainable. Good will outwin it at some point. And that's what I tell people, just focus on that. Don't, get so involved in the news or things that are going to stress you out. But I thought it was interesting. Again, I didn't see the whole piece. I saw a little clip of some of the videos and their explanation. But what I really found compelling was Schumer's, him being the talking head of insurrection. And then that particular police officer, who's now, I believe, working part-time somewhere in construction or delivery service or furniture store, something like that. I didn't really catch it. And he was fired. He lost his pension. And this was someone that served the people. He served both sides. He never let his political affiliation of whatever it is. And still couldn't tell you from what I heard. He never really said it. I thought at one point he said he even voted for Biden, but I'm not sure. But what an eye-awakening moment for him, knowing that he's supposed to be serving and protecting this chamber, and no one comes to his aid. No one, and it wasn't like there wasn't things going on the radio. Like, no one responded to his calls. They must have certain codes and stuff. Who answers for that?
Well, it should be who was in charge of security, the line of command there, which would have been House Speaker Hutsey there.
Well, I will say, I believe I did see a clip of her, not with this segment, and it was a while ago, of her and her daughter. They had a filming crew, ironically, a filming crew, like a professional filming crew, not like a news, but like a documentary type filming crew, the day of 1/6, the behind the scenes. I just thought that was, why would you hire like a documentary film crew on that particular day and film her? And she said this one nasty line about 45. She wished he would die or something. It was very nasty. Again, paraphrasing, but it meant she was thinking out loud, and the film crew was filming her, and that she was wishing him harm. It was like it was already a documentary in action being filmed. Interesting.
Things that make you go, And on that note, Wealth Wellness Wednesday, take us through Wealth Wellness Wednesday.
Well, we love this day because this is the day that you're going to have an interaction with someone that you don't know, and it's going to be fun. And how can that be? Well, it's a day that you treat someone, and it's all about that, having that healthy relationship with money and that money mindset that you need to be an entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter, you can any career, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is that people don't like talking about money, but they don't understand the root of money is the more that you have, the more that you can impact and help other people. So how do you do that? Just like when you are working towards a goal, you nip at it a little bit each day, you do some stepping stones. Well, also that has to do a lot with mindset and action, because our action and our thoughts are electrical currents, not necessarily the action piece to it, but the mindset, the thoughts is an electrical piece. So this is the day where you're going to surprise somebody. Doesn't matter what the monetary amount is. It can be $1, it can be $5, doesn't matter what it is. But putting it in such a place that's going to brighten someone's day, either to defray the cost of maybe what they're buying if you're at a grocery store, maybe paying for their coffee if they're behind you or in front of you, maybe helping someone take a few bucks off the gasoline bill, whatever it may be. And in this way, you are actually doing the action of forcing that mindset, but you're also changing someone's day in such a way that, it may impact them even more than you could even imagine. And it sparks that excitement. It excites gratitude and blessings. and kindness. So those are all the good things that Wellness Wednesday is all about. And we wish you a great Wellness Wednesday, which is a mouthful.
Yes, it sure is. And that note, we wish you an amazing Wellness Wednesday. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with
TwoSistas, and this is Carol through, aka Naughty Boss, about to get my Wellness Wednesday on, and we hope you do too. We see you tomorrow, Thursday, trending Thursday. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff trending in different parts of different buildings in DC. Be interesting. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.